All right, we're live there. Scoop, are you live, my friend?
Live from New York, it's Tuesday morning.
It's Tuesday morning. Scoop's voice is back. Woohoo!
I still
What?
contend my voice never left me, but okay.
I, I don't know how to like explain to Scoop how bad that
It's
was
like
yesterday.
it's like the ghost in my apartment that you could hear and nobody else could.
Yeah, but that ghost like doesn't follow you around. Like it happens neither does a voice thing, but like the apartment ghost just has a mind of its own. And I am, yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to help you here, but it's good to be allowed back. That's all I can say.
No, no, no. I'm happy to have you back.
Good to
It's
be
good that your voice
allowed,
is good. Did you
allowed back.
Yeah, well, here's the
did
one
you
that took me
drink
off.
tea
So
or something? Did you last
I
night? Like, did you drink tea or anything?
no,
Oh, you just slept through it. Okay, that's good. At least it wasn't as bad that it didn't like. Because honestly, after like my voice being like that sometimes, Scoop, the next morning I get like a massive throat ache. Did you have like a throat ache or anything?
well, so here's what happened, and I don't I'll make this quick. I didn't have a throat ache. Like my throat really never hurt. Like it was like I kept having to clear my throat, but it was never like pain. It was kind of just feeling like there was like something in the back of my throat. But today, what
Okay,
it was
that's good.
today what it was that knocked me down was a freaking migraine.
Yeah, was it? Did you have a migraine yesterday too,
No,
or
today
no?
it was again. It was probably just from screaming my ass off at Bills fans.
Right. Okay. Well, the migraine sucks, but I'm. Are you feeling better now?
I'm feeling great. I mean, again,
Okay, good.
I was feeling good last night, but I woke up today, kind of went back down for like a couple hours, and then since like mid afternoon, I've been chilling.
No, that's good. That's good because that was kind of. I mean, the migraine is awful, but my biggest concern, honestly, Scoop, was like how bad your throat was going to be the next morning.
Which which was always the funniest part of everything to me because that was literally the one part of me that was like that felt totally fine.
That yeah, Brandon, does that make sense to you at all from how he sounded yesterday? Because to me, it doesn't.
I
That his
mean,
throat just isn't.
I like, yeah, see, with people's voices, it's a weird thing because like I've had days where my throat is shot, but yet I can still somehow talk, and then there's just days where I can feel it starting to go, but like, and I think I'm all right, and then I go to speak, and my voice is just breaking like I'm prepubescent, like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, and you know what's funny? We've all had experiences in past iterations of the show where our voices aren't 100% because we're like sick or something. But I'll be 100% honest with you, Scoop. Like as I said last night, and I'll say it again. I was scared you were gonna like give me a lawsuit or something if I kept you on the show any longer because it was like I was like you were like like a voice like a throat like a something like that like your like umbilical
What
cord
the hell are
broke
you
or
talking
something.
about right now?
what
What I'm talking about, Scoop, is like I was genuinely is it the umbilical cord that like your
no,
voice or whatever? Not the
no,
umbilical cord. What is
no.
it called? Not umbilical. What is it?
The
Your
uvula?
vocal cords?
It's a vocal cord. Isn't there another word for a vocal cord? That's like
The
it's not
larynx.
umbilical. I know that it's not
I mean,
umbilical.
do you want
The
the
I
larynx.
know what that
do you
is.
want the scientific term?
Yes, because I know umbilical. I know what umbilical cord is. I said the wrong thing. I know that.
Thank God.
But isn't it like similar sounding? I don't
So,
remember.
never mind. The Latin term for it, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the
That's
Latin
what
term
I was
for
saying.
vocal cord.
It's kind of like it sounds similar. That's what I said the wrong thing. I know I did, but like it sounds similar, I guess. Anyway, no, I was
Well,
scared that your vocal cord was gonna like break in half, dude. Like I've never heard someone's voice sound that bad in a very long time. Like that's how bad it sounded to me. I will say. I don't know for you, Brandon, if you kind of felt similarly. Like
I mean, it got better as the show went on, but
Yeah,
Yeah, your voice kind of warmed up.
yeah,
yeah, but when
exactly.
it, yeah,
That's why I was
yeah,
just like,
when you
that's why I was
first
like confused.
when you
And
first came on though, I was like, Jesus,
that's
yeah,
why I
Yeah.
said like at the hour mark, I was like, I think we're good. But anyway,
yeah,
focusing
No,
on today now.
no, but I'm glad you're 100% healthy, Scoop. Also,
yeah.
your screaming helped your team win. So you know what? You sacrificed for the greater good at the
They
end of
need
the day. So
they need every bit of help that they can get.
yeah, so you know what? That's good. So I'm glad you're good. Brandon's here. I'm here. Me saying another weird thing happened again today, and then we're gonna do Bad Santa. Yay! Of course it did. All right. So, I guess the best place to start, Scoop, and I know you've mentioned this on past shows, and we haven't really had the time to go into like a full discussion on it. So I guess now is a better time than ever, considering the Falcons season is essentially, or it is over, and they played like they played today. Is Raheem Morris getting fired in your estimation? Like, how tough of a call is this for you? If you're in Arthur Blank's spot right now, is it a tough call for you, or is it simple?
So here's from my vantage point. First of all, I'll start by saying this. I think people are making it sound far easier than it is. Um, as far as the people who are saying, "Oh, you definitely get rid of him." We know a couple people who are saying that. I think that that's a lot more. That makes it sound a lot more of a simple call than I believe that it is. Um, Again, you've got. Excuse me. Don't kick me off. That was just a
No, no,
throat
no.
clear.
I know your voice is fine. I know your voice is fine. I've heard it.
Um,
You're fine.
but
It's not happening today. You're fine.
but like going back to early, I mean, this is still a team that beat the Bills before we realized what the Bills were. This is a team that obviously hung around the way that they did today with to handle Los Angeles. This is a team that's been a pesky put down for like looking at the amount of games that they've lost. They will, excuse me, sorry. They lost to they lost to Carolina, but they lost to Carolina by a field goal, and it's a Carolina team that went on and beat Los Angeles.
And it's in Division 2, right? So those
Yeah,
close games in
yeah.
Division help.
They lost to the surging Patriots by 1 point in New England. They lost by the Colts. I'm sorry, lost to the Colts by 6 points, and I'm pretty sure that was before they lost Daniel Jones. They lost to San Francisco by 10 points. Like a lot, like not a lot of these games, with the exception of I think two of them. Not a lot of these games were quote unquote embarrassing, nor completely just getting manhandled. And I think that competitiveness, I think that feistiness, and I call them basically the F up team. And what I meant by that was basically the team that's coming in and effing it up for the teams that are trying to get to the playoffs.
True.
And just the fact that they were able to do that, and the fact that they were doing that with a team that still we hadn't quite sure if they had we hadn't quite been sure if they had figured it out on offense or not. I think that one of the things that we often hear when a team fires its head coach, right, are has he lost the locker room? Has he lost the players? This is not a team that plays like that, like he's lost the players at all. Whatever people believe about him or think that he was the right hire, the wrong hire, whatever. You got to tip me 51-49% for I should fire him, and I'm not seeing that here. If I'm Arthur Blank, I'm giving Raheem Morris at least the beginning of next season.
Yeah, and sort of, and for what it's worth, we haven't been big fans of him on the show, and I get that. But just from this season alone, Brandon, it's a tough call. Like, and at the end of the day, what better coaching candidates are you really going to have? I mean,
that's another portion that I was gonna mention. Also, was that.
Right. And it's just like Freeman already said he's coming back to Notre Dame. So there's that. There's the best possible candidate. Not that he was going to come back anyway. But like, there's not really a better option here. You might as well, and again, you might as well give him another shot. And then part two is obviously what they do with quarterback, but that's a separate thing entirely for the offseason.
Well, you think about it this way for me. When I'm thinking about head coaching candidates or guys that might need a new change of scenery, as former head coaches after they might be gone this year. We don't know yet. Like, we've heard names like KOC float around, but KOC doesn't fit Atlanta. Like Atlanta, Atlanta Atlanta doesn't really have an identity, and that's a big problem because like when you don't really have an identity and you haven't had one in years, it's like when an owner or GM wants to bring in a certain coach, it's like okay, but then that coach has to establish a new identity, which can take a long time. Like it depends what they really want to do going forward, but I would give him another year, even though I don't like him and I don't like that coaching staff. I would give them another year just because they've finished so strong. They've won their last 3 games. I mean, to me, a lot of that is just now stats wise. Penix and Kirk Cousins are not. They're pretty much the same. They're comparable, but Kirk Cousins does make a difference in that offense. A veteran play caller. Knows how to make might not always have the flashiest stats at this point in his career, but makes the right throws and right reads when he needs to. More confidence in that offense, better command of that offense than Michael Penix, and that makes a big difference. So, and then once he basically resumed the starter role this season, Atlanta's played a lot better football overall. Now, they've lost a couple games, not really because of him, but they've lost a couple games, but. He's played well enough to win versus Penix, who really didn't. That defense has played a lot better. I mean, they've been good all season, but they've played a lot better, even than what they were capable of early in the season. Bijan is Bijan. That's he's basically the engine that makes it all go in that offense. But I think if I was to think about it, one guy that depending if he wants to leave or not after this season, the only guy the guy that probably should be very high on a lot of people's head coaching boards, even though he might need to be a little more seasoned as a coordinator first before he probably gets there, is a guy that Rob Clint Kubiak.
Kubiak is going to be a very fun candidate, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that he fits Atlanta. So I don't think that works there. But I would so there's not many candidates that would be out there. There's a couple I like.
But I add something to this too.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Let's keep in mind also this is not the first, and this is kind of a rare situation. This is not the first coaching stint Raheem Morris has had leading the Atlanta Falcons. He took over as the interim coach for Dan Quinn a few years ago.
Yep.
Dan Quinn started that season 0-5, and Raheem Morris finished that season 4-7. So obviously not a great season, but certainly a turnaround from the way that they started that year. So he's also got this kind of rare scenario where he's got a different version of and dealing with that. Keep in mind that was the COVIDism year. So there were also
COVIDism year. Who says COVIDism? What? What?
So that was also the unique scenario in which that, especially first-time head coaches were having to deal with that year. So I would also
you're behind the 8 ball by a long shot as a first-time head coach that year.
So that's my thought process is it's not necessarily a major thing that I'm looking at, but it is a feather in his cap. So it's just the further I look, and I look at this with a fine-tooth comb, because you can make the argument. You want a coach to succeed on his side of the ball, and arguably their defense is, lagging behind their offense. But I think also to an extent that also is on, Fontenot and those guys to also put players on that team for him to have, the ability to succeed with. So I can't entirely put the shortcomings of that on Morris, even though I do think that it is a fair counter argument to make.
Oh,
no, I think it absolutely. Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Really quick, Brandon, before you go, and obviously we're a long way away from March, where these decisions are going to have to be made. Yeah. So bear that in mind. Kirk Cousins' potential out is this coming offseason. $35 million in dead cap for the Atlanta Falcons if they decide to cut him. Now, is that the right decision? We'll find out in time. But Brandon, you can build on what you were saying. I just wanted to add that little piece in there as well.
Yeah, I look at Raheem Morris, to me, is like Jeff Fisher, where it's like he's a 500 kind of guy. Last year Atlanta was 8-9. This year they're probably going to be 8-9 again. Like it is what it is to me when it comes to him. Like I don't like Atlanta and just his coaching tenure as a whole. It just seems like, or I should say head coaching tenure as a whole, just seems like, that the team only really kind of gets going once the season's over. So it's like, they do. It's like how Jeff Fisher kept not getting fired pretty much because they kept almost being right there at the end of the season.
Primarily in St. Louis until the end of his tenure, correct?
Yeah.
For Jeff.
Yeah. So it's like Raheem Morris kind of falls into that Jeff Fisher category where it's like it's not bad enough to where, and it's like there's other circumstances where it's like, okay, maybe you can see keeping him. It's like the guy might not be a good coach. I still don't think he's a good coach, but like it's just like he's just good enough to warrant being on that bubble to where you're like, okay, maybe we give him another year, and then okay, maybe we give him another year, and then okay, maybe we give him another year. Like, so it's like, he probably will get one more year. Just because third time's the charm. Hey, can you actually get us over 500 for once? Like, because that's usually the real test is that third year for a head coach. Like, is there any? Because there's been no improvement the first 2 years. It's going to be another 8-9 season probably. So you get one more shot. If you can't compete for the division next year because it's a crappy division in the NFC South. If you can't at least be in contention week 18. Then by next year he's gone. So he gets one more, but to me he's no different than Jeff Fisher. He's a 500 guy. He doesn't do anything particular. Like there's nothing particularly well, with him. It's just he's okay, but he's not a real leader of men. Doesn't seem like he's a good locker room kind of guy. Doesn't seem like he's in touch that much. It's kind of just. That's what I kind of see with him. It's just he just seems very Jeff Fisher-esque. So,
yeah. Scoop, I know you wanted to go through what are the rumor mills for the head coaches and what are some of the top candidates. What are you hearing? What can you tell us?
Yeah. So basically, we just kind of touched on one with Raheem Morris. Didn't sound to me from the recent reports that I heard like he was going to be out. Pete Carroll seems like it is trending in that direction still, and we've kind of believed that for most of this season. It still continues to rack my brain that they moved on from Chip Kelly when they did, because, and I know that Brandon and I have mixed feelings about this. Their offense has gotten worse under Greg Olson than it was under Chip Kelly.
That's insanity. So, really?
Insane.
Oh yes. My God! I mean, look. I'm seeing it. I get that. So in thinking about the toilet bowl, the tank bowl, the number one pick bowl yesterday, even more than what we already watched in the first half, I'm all for Pete Carroll getting fired because that was abysmal. They just didn't care. Like it was like I'm all for it. I'm all for it after Sunday. I'm all for it after yesterday.
You guys in Seattle know this, though. It's like, Pete Carroll was done by the end of his Seattle tenure. He was done.
Because as we said during that time, I mean, he we say this with certain guys. I mean, we've said it to a certain extent on this show with John Harbaugh, with Mike Tomlin. Obviously, they're still, competing at this moment. But when it comes to Pete Carroll, like he's just he's not built for the modern NFL.
Yeah, the game's passed him by.
Yeah. And also and beyond that, I would say, I mean, and I'm probably not writing any breaking news here. Pete Carroll has no interest in that Vegas job if Tom Brady's not a heavy-handed executive up there.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
and you have to remember to back up your point, Scoop. You have to remember what that process was like for Brady and that staff to land at Pete Carroll, because nobody in that crop wanted that job. They had a few interviews with certain guys. Not that I can remember now. I mean, it's been months. But like they had interviews, but they all went elsewhere. I mean, the number one candidate for Tom Brady was Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson was like, "Hey, Chicago's a way better place for me to go than Vegas."
I have outspokenly not been a fan of Caleb Williams, but I'm still taking my chances of my first head coaching job with Caleb Williams over whatever the hell LA or Vegas has had in the last 5 years.
Well, and not only that, I mean because theoretically, if it was Ben Johnson, let's just put that out here and say in a multiversal reality, right? Let's throw that out there. That in another universe, Scoop. Let's just put it out there.
Okay, I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah. In another reality, Ben Johnson is the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Geno Smith is not the starter. He's probably still in Seattle. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe he gets traded somewhere else. I don't know what they're doing at quarterback. Maybe it's Aiden O'Connell again. So let's just put that out there. Caleb Williams is a way better option than Aiden O'Connell.
Or does Darnold end up in Vegas?
Ugh.
Or we can even throw this out. Kirk Cousins. That maybe could have been an option. Not that the trading would have necessarily worked, but no, absolutely. So, but at the same time, look, Ben Johnson has no regrets, clearly, because why would he?
No.
So yeah, that's I think we covered all of that.
Well, we all knew Ben Johnson was going to Chicago anyway.
It just made the most sense. There was no other reason for it. What else are you hearing, Scoop?
Right. So. There was those couple. In terms of guys that do not sound like they're set to lose their jobs or one thing or another. Excuse me, sorry. Or in terms of sort of connections that are being discussed. Brian Flores is in talks about a new deal with the Vikings. However, there have been new teams being discussed as fits for him. One team that keeps being brought up to keep an eye on for him is as a replacement to Matt Eberflus in Dallas. That's a team that's expressed interest in him. Another thing, Matt Nagy, the OC of the Chiefs, has not accepted extension offers to this point, and is believed to potentially have if not a head coaching opportunity this offseason, maybe at least go to an OC position where he has play calling responsibility, which he does not have in Kansas City. So those were a couple of the other things that I've pieced together as well. Excuse me, you guys already touched on the Marcus Freeman thing. Last thing that I can share is that a couple of front office candidates. I'm sorry, I didn't mention the Jets, but I think we talked about this before. Jets are not expected to move off of either Aaron Glenn or Darren Mudge this offseason. Those are expected to at least get a second year together, which, again, I think we largely expected that. And then the last thing that I was originally going to say was the Cleveland Browns in terms of potentially bringing in a new personnel executive. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily would be potentially a replacement to Andrew Berry, or if it would be somebody to work alongside him. But I know that two names that have come together there are former Raiders and Chargers general manager Tom Telesco, as well as former Colts executive Chris Greer. Those two are at least teams that have had conversations with the Cleveland Browns.
So I guess my question with Cleveland is, are you hearing anything significant on Stefanski, if he's getting fired or not?
Yeah, so Stefanski has everything that I've heard about him is basically that things were still under consideration over the last couple weeks, and that there was not a final decision made. We know that Jimmy Haslam has a bit of a loose cannon reputation, a little bit kind of similar to Dave Tepper in Carolina, where he sort of will at times make either emotional, what are perceived to be emotional decisions, or decisions that are made based on maybe not the longest term of consideration and kind of made more in the moment. But I definitely would agree that this is the most unstable things sound around Stefanski staying in Cleveland since he was hired back in, I think it was 2020. So this is definitely the most
1920, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Because I know that they had the Freddie Kitchens disaster.
Oh my God! Oh,
the original year that I thought they were going to get Stefanski that year, and then they later hired him the following season. But this definitely is the most unstable things are. However, one thing I could see is I could see them bringing in, and typically this goes the opposite direction, but I could see them going and moving off of Barry and then bringing in a new general manager and letting him make the final call on Stefanski. That is something I wouldn't be surprised to see happening, and kind of giving Stefanski more of the, if you want to say, benefit of the doubt, because I think both have made positive impacts on Cleveland. However, I do think that Stefanski is just considered more. I think he just has more regard than does Barry just around the NFL. One thing I will point out, though, Stefanski, one of the biggest advocates he is no longer in the organization. One of the big reasons that he was hired there, Paul DePodesta, their former chief football officer, is now the top executive for the Colorado Rockies in Major League Baseball. So one of his biggest backers over there is now no longer employed by the organization. We'll be curious to see if that has any insight or any impact on how the scales tip in Stefanski's favor. I don't think we're seeing both of them leave the organization this offseason. That to me feels a little overkill, but it definitely feels more tenuous than it has at any point in the last 5 years.
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking Stefanski stays just because Shador's played well.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But if you remember, if we go back to that that front office, if I don't even know if you guys remember, and maybe people were reading too much into this, but that video that emerged from the front office where it really looked like Jimmy Haslam was the only one excited by the decision to draft him at 144 or wherever it was. So whether or not it was true that Andrew Berry was not behind that selection, I have to wonder if that decision may work against Andrew Berry in this situation.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Freddie Kitchens' last spot before he was fired, where was he?
You mean like his last spot in the NFL?
Nope, just as a whole, college or pro. What? No searching. Just
No.
guess.
No. I was just trying to understand the damn question.
No, my apologies. No, just his last. He was fired this year from this spot at the end of the year. But where was he? You're gonna puke when you guys remember what this is.
Am I crazy, or was he on Belichick's staff?
Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator for Bill Belichick.
That's right. Oh my God,
bro! If he had replaced Freddie Kitchens with Chip Kelly, I don't think I could have come on this show for a week.
Could you have imagined the clash of egos between Bill Belichick and Chip Kelly? Oh my Lord!
I know. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Well, that's like people like as soon as he was let go by New England, people were thinking or people were asking the question, how long until Belichick gets the pick of his job? He still is showing tone deafness with offense in college.
That's actually a really good point. It's actually it's funny that you say the word tone deaf. I think that's the accurate word.
Absolutely. I don't see Belichick making his way back to, because I don't know if anybody would even be interested in trusting him with as much power as he would want. He has
I
more
don't-
power.
You know
He has more
what's
power
funny?
at UNC than he would. He'd have more power at UNC than he would in the NFL to begin with. And if he tried to get that much power back, his record on offense has just been it. You'd think it would at least have a chance of getting better going to college. It didn't get any better. If anything, it got worse.
I don't
No,
understand
and-
why people. I don't understand why people in the NFL back when he was looking, when they were like, oh yeah, where's Belichick going to go next after New England? And so many people were like, oh yeah, we want him here, we want him there. I'm like, why would you want Bill Belichick at this point in his career? The game has passed him by.
Well, I will also say really quick.
I don't know if you
I will
knew-
also say
sorry.
really quick 2 things. I will say this really fast. Do you know what team was going after Belichick?
The Atlanta
Heavy
Falcons.
in the NFL.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta. So that's there. And also, secondly, yes, there were teams kicking the tires on Belichick over the last month and a half.
Which just doesn't make sense.
But now, here's what I'll say. Kicking the tires is the phrase you used. Watch how many interview opportunities that comes into this offseason. Because even if he doesn't interview there, the fact that he got the offer will almost inevitably leak from somebody. So watch and see how many times we hear, because even if we hear he turned it down, we'll at least hear that the team had interest. I'm willing to bet it's going to be a lot fewer than we think.
Yeah.
I just think it might be. I think for sure it's Atlanta. I mean, duh, because they had a freaking day-long interview with him. And I don't know who else,
but they had a day-long interview with him and then still went with Raheem Morris,
which is the right call in hindsight. Clearly,
I don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying, to look like you had that much, and we all know what a big part of that was, is that they didn't want to acquiesce the amount of 53-man control that Belichick wanted, which I think was the right decision.
Absolutely.
But my thought is just being, I mean, Eagles fans, I don't mean to trigger anybody, but Eagles fans go back to when Doug Peterson was fired. Who did we have a very long interview with that we thought that people were making it sound like was going to inevitably result in an offer? It was Josh McDaniels. 2 days later, we hire Nick. 2 days later, we hire Nick Sirianni. So just because we have these long interviews, I don't always necessarily think that that's, I think that means a little bit less than people sometimes expect.
You know what? I'll bring this to another one of your favorite sports guys. Albert Pujols had a day-long interview with the Padres, and that didn't go over well.
That's another great. It's just and I think people so much are looking for like these things to latch onto, before they become official. Which again, I understand why in the day and age of social media and such, but just because a team may only decide a team may only have a 2-hour interview with somebody, but maybe that's because we got all the questions answered that we think we need. We like the answers that we're hearing. We don't feel the need to drag this thing out any longer. Like, just because you had a short or a long interview, I don't think that always has a direct or inverse correlation with your viability for a position.
And you know what? It clearly doesn't. History shows us that it clearly doesn't. Okay. I know you guys are gonna have some Eagles bias here. Try your best to just.
I don't even know where this is going.
Right. Just try your best to indulge this question from the Rams side, please. Please try your best.
Yeah.
I feel like we both do that and try to do that the best we can on this show.
Yeah, no, I think you guys do too, but I don't want this to devolve into Kevin Patullo is a terrible OC in 2 seconds. That's why I prefaced this.
To be fair, I don't think I've actually brought him up on the last couple of shows. But anyway, go on.
But we've yelled about it for he's been. If we should have a Kevin Patullo counter this year and see how many times we've said his name, because it's probably a lot.
It would blow up.
Oh yeah, I think it's over 1,000 at this point. So, and I was thinking about this, and I put it in the chat, and I was like, oh, okay. If you're the Los Angeles Rams, I'll just throw it out this way, because this is the most likely scenario, or not likely, I guess, because the Niners, there's a bunch of different things. But we'll leave it at these 2 options, just for the sake of argument, okay? If you're the Los Angeles Rams, what would you rather have happen? What would you feel more comfortable with? would you feel more comfortable on going on the road to Carolina, where you got manhandled by Carolina, or would you rather go on the road to Philly, where I get it, we've said it, different teams, different organizations, different year, where you have the haunts of last year? What is actually the better scenario? Because here's where this question lies. The more I think about it, as stupid as this might sound, the more I think about it for the LA Rams, I mean, look what we saw tonight with Atlanta, same division. Does Carolina actually beat LA if that's the matchup? That's kind of my second piece of this. But genuinely, if you're the LA Rams, what would you rather have happen? Go on the road to Carolina or go on the road to Philly? Genuinely, what is better? Because they both suck.
Because my instant reaction is just because history in general against Philadelphia has not been kind to Sean McVay. He has I think it's 1 win in 7 tries against Philly. So just in general, no matter what iteration of the Eagles it is, he doesn't have luck against them. I feel like one game against the Panthers doesn't scare you enough. Stafford had three bad picks tonight against a really good defense. Panthers, he had I think 3 bad turnovers, but I don't think that's going to happen again. And the thing is, in that everybody should be healthy for that game. To me, just the Panthers are, and mind you, the Panthers are a way worse defense than Philadelphia. And in the playoffs, as we always say, defense wins championships. So if I'm the Rams, I'm still saying that I'd rather play Carolina just because I feel like that's just going to be the better matchup on paper for you. You lost to both teams. The thing is, they lost to both teams this year. So really, that's kind of a wash. You lost to both teams, both in really bad ways. So it's whatever. But I think just on paper, who they match up better against is the Panthers. I really think that, Bryce Young against Matt Stafford is not a contest. Hurts against Stafford is. That's a marquee matchup. Saquon against the Rams defense, marquee matchup. Rico Dowdle's good, but Rico Dowdle's not Saquon Barkley. It's just the Rams have a lot more. I think they would have a lot easier time, especially the second time around, against the Carolina than they would in Philadelphia. And the thing is, in Carolina, it's not going to be the same. I mean, it's still going to be colder out because it is January, but it's not the same weather.
It's North Carolina.
Yeah,
it's 65 degrees.
It's not the same weather, and I think that's another problem too. The Rams don't usually play well in cold weather. Stafford has a history of not playing well in cold weather. So, because isn't there a whole thing with Stafford's record in cold weather games? It's really bad. It's 1 in 10 or something like that. So just everything points to Carolina. So I think the better matchup for the Rams is Carolina.
Scoop, what say you?
Yeah, so like you said, we've all said that this is going to be a very matchup based postseason, which I'm excited about. I think that it's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Now, from Carolina's vantage point, now again, we all agree Carolina's defense sucks. Any of their 9 fewest scored point or fewest allowed point games are against offenses that we would expect would barely be able to score against anybody.
Yeah.
So, and then looking at LA, what is maybe LA's one sort of hole, or at least, one sort of potential bugaboo on offense? It's their ability to pass block. So do I want to put a team that struggles with or at least can be penetrated in their ability to pass block up against a top 2 pass rush in the NFC? No, I do not. So you put those two things together, and you add in the fact that, if it comes down to a special teams matchup, we just saw Philly be able to beat LA in a special teams matchup.
Well,
Um,
LA has had one of the worst special teams in the entire year. They fired their special teams coach already.
right.
So
So I'm just saying, and again, this is in no way to disrespect what Carolina has done, because I think that there are matchups in which Carolina can win a playoff game. I genuinely do. One of them is if they get into a shootout with San Francisco. I do think that that's a matchup in which they can in which they can win.
that'd be
Um,
fun.
but all things considered, I think Philly, especially in Philadelphia, is a horrible matchup for them, and that's something that I want to mention too, because you asked. I'm pretty sure your question was going to either stadium, right?
I mean that's a huge part of it. Absolutely,
But
is what do you feel
I just want to
comfortable
make
with?
sure you got your question correctly. You're asking about going to either stadium, right?
Well, I'm asking. What's the better matchup, and they're both on the road anyway. But yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
you rather go to Bank of America in North Carolina than
Well,
you
well,
would
well
the
that's
Link right now.
that's my point. Is I don't think anybody would consider Bank of America Stadium a top 10 home field advantage in the NFL. I can think of so many places in which players have verifiably said, I don't want to go. If I have to go on the road to win a playoff game, I don't want to go to the Link. It's right up there with Seattle, the Big Easy. Like
Kansas
they're
City,
all.
it's up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of the top 5 worst places to play in the NFL.
yeah, and I respectfully, I just don't see anybody saying that about Carolina. So that would be another thing I would add on top of what I've said.
No, and I think that's absolutely true. So no, that answers my question perfectly. What's the percentage likelihood you would give to Carolina beating the Rams right now in a playoff game at home? Because I'm having a tough time. Like I'm saying like 35-40%.
I would
Like
say
So
more.
I'm teetering to a place where like if that is the matchup, I might consider Carolina just a little bit. There has to be an upset somewhere, right? In the NFC, there has
Yeah.
to be one somewhere. Is it that one?
give me 1 second, because I want to pull up the actual, like, the if the season ended today thing that I just saw, because I
Oh
just
no,
want to look at
please do,
You
please
know
do.
what? You know what I'll say while Scoop's looking that up. I would give it for the Panthers. I would give it. It's definitely not like below like 20. I would say like 25. I would say I give them a quarter of a chance.
Okay.
I because they just beat them, and I just think that I mean like we said all year the Panthers are one of those frisky teams. So
Right.
I mean that is
Not as frisky as ATL, but it's up there.
well yeah, but like like mind you, I mean they're in a crap division, but they are playing for a division title. Um, I
Oh, and by the way, the reason why I say Carolina in this hypothetical and not Tampa Bay is Atlanta is probably going to win on Sunday. So Carolina is probably going to get in regardless. I'll be real. But continue, Brandon.
the way I'm thinking of this is like with the Panthers is that I just can't like I like the Panthers are always one of those teams where it's like even if they're really bad they're like I mean listen this was a team last year that was it last year or the year before where tickets were $3 to go
Yeah.
to the game
Like
like
yeah, like
but like
3 years ago.
but this year they just every game they play they have a couple bad blowouts. I mean every bad team does, but they have but they've just been one of these teams that just doesn't go away. And I feel like with how the Rams have played lately, they can catch them. It's not likely, but and I don't think the Rams are going to let it happen a second time. But I just think that I mean I don't know if I try. Listen now the Rams secondary is bad, and Bryce Young did play really well against the Rams secondary, but I think that do it again. I don't think lightning strikes twice. I wish I could. I guess like see a clear path like where they have a decided advantage against LA. I just don't.
Need a magic 8 ball, huh?
I mean, what do they really do better than LA? I guess maybe their specialty, but the special teams is terrible for LA anyway. We know that, but But the thing is, is the Panthers defense going to stop LA again from putting up 30 plus on them? I don't think so. So, I don't know. I mean, listen, LA played a tough Atlanta team, because they are tough, even though they're not in the playoffs. They are a tough team to play, and they're a really good defense to play. And they scored, what was that, 24 points in the second half on them? So
funny enough, one of that was from special teams.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, but they still, but they still did it. So so against Carolina, who's worse defensively, it's a low chance, but I'll give them that 25%.
Scoop, what are you seeing statistically?
Are we still talking about the chance for the Panthers to beat the Rams?
No. What were you looking up? I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh yeah,
what did you want to look?
I was looking at because you asked about upsets in the first round, and I was just looking at if the season ended today, what would the matchups be? So I'll just run through them quickly. It would be San Francisco versus Carolina. Which is funny because I just mentioned that one. Except San Francisco would be the lower seed, so I guess I could kind of see that as a matchup, just because I just find it so weird that San Francisco is 5th seed and Carolina's 4th seed. That's just so weird to me.
Scoop, can I ask you a question in relation to that matchup though?
What's up?
How much do you think what we saw last night, or what we saw last night with the Niners offense, can carry over? Not necessarily with Seattle. Yeah, I mean, sure, the Seattle's defense is obviously a lot different than Chicago's, but Carolina's way worse. Could you see? I mean, you already said you could see a shootout from both teams, but I mean, you'll see the Niners scoring 40 points bare minimum in a game like that. I mean, that's kind of facetious, but still.
It's. I hate to say this, but I've just seen San Francisco fall apart, and I mean physically fall apart in the playoffs time and time again. I watched us completely, literally almost kill their quarterbacks a couple years ago in the NFC title game.
And they're not healthy going into it anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Again.
So it's just my question really is just them physically making it through, all of that, because honestly, that for as much as we can say about Carolina, they've at least, I mean, they will play until, the very end. And, I think it's particularly likely that, that the offense of Carolina can outdo no, not particularly, but we've literally seen games where it literally just comes down to the one big play, the one big, whatever, the one big either mistake or whatever the case may be. And not only that, but we've seen Carolina win a couple of those games this year now. So, so I would probably say, of this list, that's probably my one that'd be, but because I find that to be a little bit cheap because of the way that it's numbered, I'm going to just mention the AFC real quick. We've got Bills 7th seed against Patriots 2 seed. I don't think that the Bills win against the Patriots in New England. We've got Chargers 6th seed against Jacksonville 3 seed. I don't think that the Chargers win in Jacksonville. Now,
Chargers are resting their starters, so that's pretty much locked in at this point.
Well, I'm talking about these are the playoff matchups.
Right. I just want to mention for anyone who
the seed is locked up. My bad.
Which is why I told Eric. I said, I'm sorry for your loss because you're not going to get the 1 seed now.
Yeah, because I just want to mention for anyone who has missed the news, Herbert and majority of the starters are resting for the Chargers. Yeah. So continue, Scoop.
Okay. Thank you. Now, the one that I do have a little bit of a, maybe put on upset alert would be if this holds up, the 4th seed Steelers playing the 5th seed Texans. I can see the Texans winning that game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think that's an upset. That's not an upset. I think they rock them.
The Texans are going to kill an immobile quarterback. If it is the Steelers, they're going to kill Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers can't move.
Even if it's the Ravens, I'm taking the Texans to smack them.
It's again, and some of that is based on the weirdness about how they see these games in the NFL. But and then of course, if you talk about getting into the next week, that's when it gets all messy because again, the lowest seed is going to be the one that faces the Broncos or the Seahawks respectively. So then it gets harder to say from there because you add a lot more variables into the conversation. But
my apologies. What did you say the Chargers matchup was?
Chargers in Jacksonville, 6 versus 3.
Okay, yeah, I think Jacksonville. That's tough, but okay.
It's somewhat tough. That honestly, that's a game where if that game were playing, and I know LA doesn't have really a decided home field advantage, but if the game were being played even in a more neutral space, I might consider that a game that I think could be more of a toss up. I do think that playing in Jacksonville with a crowd that's been hungry for something to be excited about in the playoffs for a decade. I do think that that's something that is going to be more meaningful. That and also what we've seen recently from Liam Cohen, apparently seeming to establish himself as a coach. Because for a while I thought, and I still would give Harbaugh the coaching edge, but I think that we are seeing him, the fact that he's going up against Liam Cohen, I don't think that that's the decided mismatch that we once thought it would be.
Yeah, and any thoughts on those matchups for both sides, Brandon, as of now?
On that specific matchup, I think that there's something to be said for momentum going into the playoffs, and the Jags are probably, along with the Texans, literally the AFC South is the hottest division in football right now,
which is amazing.
Which is something I never thought we'd say in a million years, but yeah, it's true. The Texans and Jags both have the longest active win streak, and I just think that matters. Like the Jags are hot at the right time. They didn't play a great game against Indy, but the Jags, Carolina's having a great second half of the year. ETN's had a really good year, and people kind of don't realize it.
And by the way, that Colts game was concerning yesterday. I'm not dismissing that in any way, shape, or form.
But the thing is, the Chargers are not a team that's gonna hang, 30 on you. Like, the Chargers are a team that because they play really good defense, they have top 5 defense in the NFL. Like, the Chargers are a team that's gonna hang 23 to 26 on you, and you just kind of have to figure out a way just to get that one last touchdown that you need to beat them. But I don't trust Justin Herbert in big games. That offensive line is dog food.
Food.
It's dog food.
I feel like he wanted to say something else and then just decided to.
You can say
No.
we've said dog shit on the show.
Because
you can't say that. You don't have to say dog food.
Well, I wanted to say dog food because because anybody
that's lower than dog shit.
Because anybody that goes up against that Chargers banged up O-line, it has a bunch of third stringers on it. It's lunchtime for a bunch of hungry dogs, so it is dog food. So
that's fair. That's fair.
So I can't see Herbert staying upright in that game. Like, Herbert, I think in the last month has been the most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he has by a pretty good margin. Yes,
pretty good margin. Yeah.
Well, now I was waiting for Brandon to finish because I have a point to add to his.
Okay, please finish up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I pulled this up. And yes, I know I'm going to be getting a little bit nerdy, but just bear with me for a second.
No, that's fine. So, that's what you're here for.
I went back to the beginning of the 2023 postseason. So this is just postseason, and I went to the 14 quarterbacks that have completed the most plays during that period of time. The only quarterback with a completion percentage below 59% is Justin Herbert, and that's 45%.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
So
that
he
hurts.
so he so he's not just the worst quarterback the last 2 to 3 years in the postseason. He's that by a large margin. The stat that you've heard me use a couple times, EPA per play, which is expected points added per play. The only one with a negative number is Justin Herbert.
It's not really surprising, even from an eye test view, if you remember a lot of those games.
Like,
no, it's not. But I'm just saying this is an example of people talk about how much is alignment or disalignment is there between the eye test and the stats. That's where I'm just showing that not only is he like comparatively at the bottom, like he's at like he is
bottom.
50%. He's like it's the 50 feet of crap, and then it's him.
And you know what? And you know what's crazy about it too is like some people are like, oh well, the last few years he's had no help because the balls are bouncing off the receiver's hands. But it's like, okay, so but like go back to that 4 interception game that he had in the playoffs against, and I believe that was Houston, wasn't it?
I think so.
And like they're like, oh well, 2 of the picks weren't his fault. Okay, the other 2 were had really bad situations, and they were his fault.
I will add, it's not weird. It's unfortunate because obviously the O-line issues with the Chargers are really unfortunate because 2 of the best O-linemen in the NFL period have been out for a significant period of time, which sucks. But the receivers for the Chargers, really sticky. Even Q has been good this year.
Yeah.
He's been really good.
Herbert to me has no excuse because if Joe Burrow can drag a crappy offensive line to a Super Bowl,
6 wins. Well, 6 wins this year.
Yeah, but to a Super Bowl in the past, Justin Herbert. Now listen, they're not Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm not saying that, but they've been good this year. They've been really good this year. So if Joe Burrow can drag a garbage offensive line to the Super Bowl, Justin Herbert, here's your chance. Unless those guys revert back into what they were the last couple years, then there's no excuse for Justin Herbert this time around. I don't care. He has a top 5 defense, and he has good wide receiver play this year. And he has a good tight end, a good rookie tight end. I don't want to hear any. He has a decent enough, not great, but decent enough running back room. The only thing he doesn't have is an offensive line. But Joe Burrow doesn't have one either, and Joe Burrow still wins. So I don't want to hear shit about Justin Herbert having no help. Because this year he actually has it. So if he doesn't get anywhere this year, or if he plays bad in the playoffs, I'm done with this narrative that he's going to be their savior. That poor Justin Herbert. I don't care. I mean,
Scoop's already been out on that narrative for a while.
But now, this is like the year where it's like, okay, he has 90% of the things he needs. How much more does he need?
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. Because, like, again, I've said in the past that I'm not a lover of the narrative where it's like we hold things against quarterbacks just because they have good help around them. That being said, there's a line for both sides. Not every quarterback is going to be able to be what Burrow did and take no offensive line to the Super Bowl. And on the flip, like there's different places, but every quarterback needs to have something, and no quarterback should be expected to have everything. We've literally gone from this guy is a savior to this guy is somebody who needs to win, or in order to win needs most things to go right around him. You know what we call that? We call that a game manager. You know what we call that? We call that Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. Jesus. Okay.
I'm actually getting fired up.
Okay. Let me fire you up more before we do Bad Santa. I got one last thing. You made me think of something really interesting, Scoop. And this might be a dumb question, so please forgive me. The Niners, if they beat the Seahawks, are all the way home the entire way through, even the Super Bowl. Home means all the way.
Sorry.
And no, but it's not just home field advantage. It's home field advantage all the way. Yeah. Even the Super Bowl. It's all the way.
Oh, I forgot the Super Bowl was there. Oh.
Yep, it's all the way. So, and this might be stupid, but you mentioned the injuries that the Niners have had, Scoop, and all these different things, which is every year. I don't know how to phrase it other than it kind of sounding dumb, but it's fine. Do you think it, even with the injuries, like, do you think that because they're at home, they're just in a better spot to not get as hurt, I guess is the way to phrase it, or like, does that help in that department? I mean, I don't know if it really does, but like,
I mean, and Shane, if you're watching, my apologies, but also not. I think that sometimes in the instance of, if you're normally playing on a field that is grass versus turf, I think sometimes that can come into play, I think, at times. But in terms of injuries themselves, I mean, I don't know really if there's a correlative evidence to support or refute that. From what I've seen and what I can recall, I haven't really seen noticeably teams, especially teams that are notoriously injury prone like San Francisco. I haven't really seen that make a major difference. To my understanding, it would really be more the conditions in which they're playing and on which they're playing, more so than just it's at home, or it's not. I haven't really seen that have a major connection. But again, that's not with a ton of information at my fingertips backing that up. That's basically just what I can recall.
Yeah, and then secondly, Scoop, before I go to Brandon, I mean, if the Seahawks lose, they're pretty good on the road, though, right? I mean, that's
is
the
impressive,
because fascinating.
Because we've talked about the 12th man for the longest time, but like, I mean, has the 12th man started getting the seat on the plane? Because you can argue that they're one of the teams that sometimes travels better than they even play at home.
Yeah. What do you think on those two questions, Brandon? The Seahawks on the road, but also just how do you think the injury bug will be affected if the Niners are all the way home, all the way to the Super Bowl?
See, your crowd can carry you a long way, even when you're injured. You can find that extra boost from your crowd. It affects the other team, even if no matter how injured you are. So I look at it and I go, well, in that case, it does make it slightly easier, but they have to get to the NFC Championship game first for the injuries to no longer matter, because then you're basically getting Fred Warner back, and that basically right there is the biggest injury you have. So you're not going to get him at a totally 100%. You're just not, but you're going to get.
But a 50% Fred Warner is better than anything you have on that linebacking core anyway.
Yeah, especially when your linebackers, when the guys you have in there right now are picking fights, late in games with freaking Colston Loveland, for no reason. So that pissed me off so bad. But
fair enough.
But so if they do get healthy for that game, if they get there, if they get the 1 seed, because the thing is, to me, the only way the Niners get to their Super Bowl in front of their home fans is they have to have the 1 seed. If they don't get the 1 seed, I think they're just that. I can just write them off now, because they're not surviving 2 playoff games before they get healthy for an NFC Championship game. It's just no way.
No, and I mean, especially with that defense, like, again,
yeah.
Like you can run into one team with a manageable offense, like a Tampa Bay or a Carolina or somebody of that nature. Excuse me. You go up against a Chicago, you go up against an LA, you go up against a Philly. I know people want to say blah 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 blah. You go up against teams like that offensively. That I'm sorry, I don't see how your defense is stopping that. When I just watched you not be able to stop Chicago for an entire 4 quarters.
Right. Yeah. And then secondly, Brandon, with Seattle, I mean, look, the 12th man's the 12th man. You want to be at home, totally, obviously, right? Duh.
Yeah.
But Seattle on the road all year long, or really as Mike McDonald has been there, they've been fantastic on the road. So it's not the worst case scenario.
It really isn't. And the thing is, any team that has a top 5, anywhere between a top 10 to top 5 defense in this league, your defense travels with you. It's not like where you're going to go on the road and you need to be perfect to win. Seattle doesn't have to be perfect on the road to win because their defense can pick up that slack. And you know, fans make the most noise, on the road when their team is on defense. So Seattle's not really hearing that, and listen, when you're used to playing with the 12th man in Seattle, you're used to noise anyway. So when you factor those kinds of things in, there's not really that much pressure on their defense to perform on the road, like as there would be any other time. So, it's just when you have a defense that's that good, I don't think, because when you're on the road, especially in the playoffs, because during the season it matters too, but especially in the playoffs, you're not favored to win. You're not the home team. You're the underdog.
You don't get the 3 points in Vegas.
It's like you're the one that no one's picking pretty much to win. You're the one where people are going, hey, you're on the road. So it's like you, in a way, you're playing, not totally because it's still a playoff game, but you are, in a sense, playing more relaxed. You're playing with house money. So, and if Seattle's that good on the road, which they have been this year, and like I said, with that good of a defense, with how good JSN has been, with how pretty good you rotate your running backs, how good they've been, to me, the only thing that can stop Seattle is Sam Darnold. That's it. It's Sam Darnold. So I think that that home or road to me doesn't matter with them. It's more so just how does he perform. So honestly, being on the road for them is not the worst thing. It really isn't. And it would be bad for them if they were on the road, like in like a Philadelphia. I mean, that's going to sound like bias, but it is true. If they were on the road in Philly, that would be bad. But
it's bad. But at the end of the day, as we've said, it's bad for everybody because the weather it's bad for everybody.
Exactly.
I would probably also argue that is the only place where going on the road could potentially be that much of a challenge for them.
For a playoff game too. Like if it was the Bears, no. If it was the Bucks or Panthers, no. If it so like
I think what we're thinking NFC wise. I mean, for being on the road, like you're thinking, what scares you? Philly, San Francisco, because San Francisco is going to be all the way through, so they're just going to have momentum there. And then obviously Seattle. And then obviously Seattle because the 12th man and all that stuff.
But I'm saying, if Seattle were to go on the road, then those are probably the only two teams. Well, you're just worried about the Niners in general, not even because it's on the road. It's a team that you play twice a year. It's your division. So
I'm just saying in general for playoff teams in the NFC in general, those are your 3 places: Philly, Seattle, San Francisco.
So to me, really, if you think about it, I wouldn't even be worried if you're playing the Niners on the road because you play them on the road every year. So
you're playing on the road on Saturday anyway.
I'm not. So even if I was Seattle, I wouldn't even be worried if you lose that game and God forbid how it shakes out, that you would have to play Seattle, that you would have to play the Niners on the road because you play there so often already.
And it's not only that it's so often, the turnaround would be so quick. What, minimum 3 weeks?
Yeah. So it's like you'd be coming off of just playing there. You play there every year. And like I said, crowd noise is not a factor to a team like Seattle because they have basically the loudest fans in the NFL. They have the 12th man. So really the only, like, it's going to sound like bias, but it really isn't. The only disadvantage you have on the road is if you're in Philadelphia. But that's really it. I think that, so Seattle to me has no problem being on the road with the exception of Philadelphia. So I like
that. I might say that might be the matchup I least would want for Philadelphia would be playing in Seattle. That might be the worst matchup we could see.
Playing in Seattle.
Yeah. All right, let's do Bad Santa. So, quick word of warning. Even though I specifically say some out of pocket stuff, there are things we cannot say. Like we would get banned immediately. We would get put off air without question.
YouTube like it was an age restriction. Yeah.
Like there's certain things that we just cannot do. But there are things that we can talk about. which there are actually a lot of fascinating things that we can talk about. Brandon, normally when we do these movies, and obviously I'm going to start with you because you picked it. I always am like, hey, just go and give me your thoughts. But I'm going to pose you a question I think is the most important thing that we need to discuss when discussing Bad Santa, which is, and a lot of it's political climate, a lot of it's social media. I get that, but the thing with Bad Santa for me is did Brandon get off? Did Brandon get off, or is he okay?
He disabled his camera. I don't know why.
I think,
and now he's gone.
Now he crashed. Are you back? Hello, double checking.
Hold on.
Let's see. Brandon crashed. Oh no! What happened?
I'm trying to figure it out.
I mean, we can still hear you, which is good.
Because you know why? I don't know what happened, but my plug came out of it didn't come out of the wall, but it did. And remember,
it partially come out of the wall.
So it partially came out of the wall, but for some reason, remember, my laptop is so old, I have to get a new one because I have to keep it plugged in for it to work.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you if you ever got the new one because I thought you were supposed to get one for Christmas.
So yeah, no, not yet. I'll probably get it for my birthday. If anything else, I'll get it for my birthday. Like the mic was first and foremost. But
the mic sounds fantastic, by the way.
I mean, listen, you could still ask me the question just because I'm here and I don't know how much longer I have before.
No. The good thing is we can still hear you, so that's all that matters.
What if I disable wait? Oh
yeah! Woo! There we go. Okay, so I think the most important thing we can discuss, because obviously there's a lot that we can't for obvious reasons. The most important thing we need to discuss with Bad Santa is the fact that because of the political climate and social media and people being angsty and whatever, let's be honest here, we don't have comedies like this anymore.
Right.
Yeah. And it sucks. Yeah. It sucks because early 2006 the movie came out. It sucks because 03 this was? Okay. So early 2000s. It sucks because, again, even though for obvious reasons, YouTube and millions and all this stuff, obviously, just in general, being on air, there's stuff that we obviously can't talk about because of the raunchiness and all these different things. It's needed for a comedy like this. We need more comedies like this, dude. Not just Christmas comedies. We need more comedies like this in general. And I think that's the basis of this whole conversation because I think that's what we really can talk about, Brandon.
Back down. Back down.
People don't realize that a lot of comedy reasons, but comedy back then, pretty much from the 70s until the early 2000s, when you saw a comic do stand up, just not in a movie, but do stand up, a lot of it, 99% of it was this kind of humor, was racy, raunchy, just over the top.
Stuff that you can't say on a podcast, kind of shit. Yeah,
just things like that you couldn't get away with today. But you gotta realize that this was pretty tame for back then. This was not tame. This was on par for what it was back then. There was lots of comedies like this, and I think that when you see Christmas comedies in general, this is a Christmas comedy that's just unlike anything else. It's unlike anything else that came before it, because this just wasn't done before this, and this wasn't done really after it. So, I mean, hell, even the sequel to this movie got bad ratings just because it came too far later on to where these jokes were not going to hit the same anymore. And I think that it's just. It's funny. This movie is a product of the time, but it doesn't age badly because it is a Christmas movie, so anybody can watch it for Christmas. But it's one of those things where, obviously the jokes are not for kids, but the jokes are just funny because it's not it's not necessarily toilet humor jokes. It's not juvenile jokes, but they're not but they're not just like something like sophisticated where it's like sarcastic, like something like really sarcastic or really witty. It's like kind of that right in that middle sweet spot where it's like you don't have to be smart to get the joke. You don't have, but you don't have to be, but you can't. It's not like little kid juvenile toilet humor. So it's all the jokes here hit their mark. Like you can't repeat some of the jokes they make. I mean, you can if you're with your friends, and no one's recording you or whatever. But
yeah, we can't do it here. There's no way.
But it's just, the thing is, a lot of what makes comedies like this good, and also why it makes a movie like this good is because Christmas is considered a very wholesome time of year, family, heartwarming. This is the opposite. This is a movie that makes fun of every. This is a movie that makes fun of every character in it, and it doesn't just make fun of every character in it. It's cold. It's kind of a little bit depressing for a Christmas movie. So it's a different kind of Christmas movie. That's why it works so well because it juxtaposes Christmas and family and unity and wholesomeness with just over the top, just insanely like kind of dark comedy. I mean, it's considered a black comedy film. So dark comedy, that kind of stuff. So when you mix the two together, as long as it's done right, which this is, it's going to be remembered for a long time. It's already considered basically a modern Christmas classic. So, and mind you, this came out the same year as Elf. It came out in 2003. This competed pretty much with Elf. And Elf is the exact opposite comedy movie of what this is. So like,
spoiler alert, I like this better.
Well, no, I as much as I love Elf and I have friends who adore Elf, and this is my favorite Christmas movie, I think now. Because as an adult, I'll go deeper in this, but as an adult, this is the kind of Christmas movie I need.
But that's what I'm saying. This is like when you want to watch a Christmas movie, and people always think of certain Christmas movies, like now, regardless of what you feel about Die Hard, I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of people don't, and whatever. But in terms of like when you think of like a traditional Christmas movie, and you think about like, oh, I'm gonna watch it with family. But it's like, but for people that like, either don't have a lot of family for Christmas, or you just want to like if you're alone, like, and you just want to watch something like before Christmas time or whatever, you want to watch something like around Christmas time. And you're kind of just bored, but you don't want to watch like a traditional Christmas movie.
Stop eating that.
Watch this, because this is like it's like if you don't want to watch the typical Grinch or Christmas Vacation, which is also a good comedy, Christmas comedy, right. Or if you don't want to watch like Elf, like this is really good to watch because it's an adult Christmas movie. So it's a
hard art Christmas movie.
Like it's one of those things where you like I said, you're obviously not gonna have your kids sit down and watch with you for Christmas, but it's one that you can appreciate, where it's kind of just fun. If you're hanging out, like if you're having like a friends miss, like if you're with your friends for Thanksgiving and you want to watch something.
Pringles is taking over this segment, by the way. I love it. Well, just taking over the segment.
She's trying to eat berries and cheese and a bunch of other shit.
Oh, cheese! But like, the best part about this too is that like I've seen all the actors in this movie and other things, which also helps. This is a kind of a known cast. But, like honestly, the funniest character in this movie is like the mall head, his complaints to Bernie Mac's security head.
Really quick, I gotta jump in. The reason why his character has actually aged the best, if we were to do like a Bill Simmons What's Aged the Best award, what he does with the rewatchables. He's aged the best because he's the PC character. Everyone makes fun of him.
Yeah, he's the PC character, but the thing is, everybody makes fun of him. But it's like also, but he's not just the PC character, but because he's the only PC character in this movie, it's kind of like a wink kind of thing, where it's like this movie knows that it's adult humor. This movie knows that it's racy and raunchy. So it's like they're putting him in there for a reason, not just to be the PC guy to make fun of, but just because it's like, okay, we know that this movie is what it is. So let's have a guy that's basically admitting to you by being the PC guy that even he knows what it is. So like it's there, there's little things like that make this movie like really great. It's like, and every character in this movie also what makes this a great Christmas movie is every character in this movie has flaws. Like, so usually in Christmas movies, like you have a lot of people who are genuinely good people, not a problem with them, or it's like or like little silly things that lead to like very comedic situations. Like, no, all these characters in one way or another are very like, except for maybe the grandmother, but the main characters in this movie. So Billy Bob Thornton's character, Tony Cox's character, Lauren Graham, Bernie Mac, they all, every single one of them is questionable morality at best. At best. So it's like, and it's funny because you have like they all toe the line on being good or bad people, and and it's also a movie to where it's like when you understand like Billy Bob Thornton, when there's certain parts where you hear his narration and you understand kind of the kind of person that he is, beneath all the the booze filled adventures, it's like,
and that's putting it mildly. Booze filled adventures is very funny
because like this is the Christmas movie where it's like where you feel bad for, I'm not gonna say you feel bad for the bad Santa, that's too much of a pun, but you feel bad for the bad guy. You do feel bad for him, and it's just it's a perfect reminder of like, and then why this Christmas movie makes a lot of sense, and because Christmas is a thing where, despite the flaws, and this is true in real life, families and things like that, and friends and people in your life always fight, throughout the entire year, but Christmas is the one time where people come together. In this Christmas movie, you have people from so different, like you have what's probably the most unorthodox, by the end of this movie, the most unorthodox family unit you will ever see in your entire life. It's a con artist, bad mall Santa, a bartender slash, like she kind of has that hooker with a heart of gold trope, but that's not what she is. But like, but kind of like that like kind of like skeezy bartender kind of thing, but has a good heart. A kid that just is so naive and dopey about the world, and then and who doesn't have parents because one of them I believe is dead and the other one is in jail, and then the grandmother who is probably only got a couple more months to live. She is so old, but yet
let's make some sandwiches. Woo!
Yeah, like so old and senile, but yet they end up forming the best family unit you could think possible, which is something in and of itself. But it's the perfect example of like the old kind of like saying that no one should be alone for the holidays. That it's like, and they all kind of find each other in this way, but through obviously very, very unusual and illegal circumstances. but it's like it's funny because it's like you don't think it's a Christmas movie in terms of like what it is on the surface, but when you dig deep into it, it has a lot of that Christmas and family values that you're looking for by the end of it. So that's what makes it special, is that it's funny. It's definitely not PC. It does have those qualities by the end of it that you notice. It's like, oh yeah, it does feel Christmassy and warm by the end of it. And it's just I mean, I wish they didn't make a sequel to this, or if they made a sequel to it, I wish it would have came a lot sooner than, I think it was like 13 years later. But I think that just this movie by itself, like this is the one case where it's like the sequel, like we said with like the Joker movies, like the second one kind of drags down the original. Bad Santa 2 kind of drags down this a little bit, but this movie just by itself it's a Christmas movie that people forget about, but I guess because people know that it's so unorthodox that it's like, it's kind of like, it's just a kind of like a black sheep kind of,
As you said, in most cases you're on little kids, you're on your family. This is like
yeah.
not acceptable for that
Like,
in any form.
but it's funny because the message by the end of it is very
Is acceptable.
Yeah. So it's like it's just weird how that all works. And it's weird how they arrive at that conclusion, but they do. So it's like it really is a fun Christmas movie, and it's like I have to watch this again just to really appreciate it, because this was my first watch through in full. So I'd always
same.
I've
seen bits and pieces,
but I never saw it in full. So I was like, you know what? I really have to. I want to go back and watch this, and I probably will before New Year's. I'll probably go back and watch this and be like, hey, I missed some things, but my favorite character in this the best scenes in this movie are the interactions between the mall head and Bernie Mac's mall security.
When he's eating oranges, he's just like, like, why are you eating oranges? And he's in the middle of this thing, and it's so weird.
He's just listening to the guy complain, and he's like okay, and kind of thing. Like I'm like, yeah, that's the best. It's like, the sarcasm there. So
he's just chopping and licking on oranges. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah. So honestly, like, this movie has a lot of things that people can appreciate. I mean, to me, the one of the best scenes is also him just showing up. Is literally him. I mean, he shows up to work drunk or hungover in all the scenes, but him showing up to the mall completely just looking raggedy,
out of his mind,
out of his mind, and destroying the winter set.
He just
and
destroyed the whole
kicking over the deers and things like that. This guy is out of his mind. But it's just a good Christmas movie. It really, if people gave it, it is considered a modern Christmas classic, but if people gave it the proper time it deserves, people don't understand how good of a movie this actually is. So it is really good.
Scoop, did you get a chance to watch this?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
But I will say, can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
Okay. But also I will say it wasn't my first time seeing it. So
okay, that's good.
Yeah. And also has one of my favorite comedians in it. So that was pretty cool. And I hadn't actually, when I last had seen this, I didn't know who Billy Gardell was. But I became a fan of his after the fact, so that was kind of cool. And again, you guys are always there. Let's try that again. You guys obviously already talked about his role as the Milwaukee what would you call him? Just like mall cop, guard, whatever you would call him.
Basically the mall security, mall cop.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of funny because he kind of looks like Kevin James, who played the actual mall cop in that movie.
It's funny, yeah. That's the first thought I had too.
But he tends to. I mean, he was in the TV show Mike and Molly. He's very into playing up those sort of parts of him, kind of very into playing jokes at himself and things of that nature. But again, you talked about I can't recall the language you used, but hooker with a bleeding heart or something of that nature. Hooker
with a golden heart,
golden heart,
or heart of gold,
There's actually a song that made me think of. If you've heard the song "Three Wooden Crosses" by Randy Travis, that song
I probably heard in passing before. Yeah,
it made me think of that song. If anybody watching hasn't heard it, I highly recommend going and listening to it because it very much ties in with that. It's just that's one of my main things is I talk about how I saw certain things by connecting them to other things that I've seen. So that's kind of how I go about things like this. But again, like you guys said, it has a really unique way of kind of going through the different things and the different kind of relationships between Willie and Sue and people and different people throughout and kind of bring it together at the end through a lot of things that you would never show your kids, a lot of things tying together at the end in a way that are family friendly. And I think, something where, I mean, obviously from a pure cinematic standpoint, this is not going to be the deepest thing that we talk about.
Yeah.
No way.
But
No.
but I mean, I'm grateful for that. When you want to go watch a movie on Christmas, that's not typically, my brain is not typically thinking about, oh, let me break down and analyze this and whatnot.
No, that's not the intention.
But
no,
this is definitely higher on my list for Christmas than movies like Elf. It definitely is closer to movies like Die Hard for me. And again, like I said, I always enjoy, because there's been a couple movies this year that I didn't recognize a single person we watched. So the fact that we got to see this, and I got to think of Billy Gardell and think of some of the other comedians around Christmas that I enjoy watching. Brandon, this was an awesome pick, and I appreciate that you selected this. Also, after in a season where we've watched so many hard-hitting, deep, and sort of at times the type of movie where you can only watch once, really. This was kind of nice and refreshing, because it is the kind of movie that I can go and watch, and I can't remember which one of y'all said it, but it's the perfect amount of it makes you think a little bit, but it doesn't make you think too much. I mean, I consider us all intelligent people here, but we don't have to really dig into our brains while watching this movie, if that makes sense.
No, it's just about having fun. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, well, number one, halfway through this movie, I was like, how are we going to actually talk about this? Because I was like, this is, but then.
Well, that's why I was like, okay, so I have a lot of thoughts about this movie, but how do I convey that into thoughts that can actually go on to millions?
Yeah, and you how in YouTube and how come? But I think, but to me, it came down to that question I introduced it with of we just don't have these anymore, and it sucks, and we need more of them.
And I was watching another show. Well, it wasn't a movie; it was a show recently, South Park, and
yes.
I was watching it for the first time. But I think whether it's South Park, whether it's South Park, whether it's Seinfeld, whatever the hell it is. You think of so many things, even from the 90s when I was born in 2000. I think, Brandon, you were born in 2000.
Yeah, we all were. Same here.
Okay.
We all were.
Okay. These were only from a couple. I mean, this was from after we were born, but shows like that were only from a couple years before we were born in a lot of cases. There's no, and they actually there are certain episodes of different shows like South Park and Seinfeld that they will not re-air on cable television these days,
or put on streaming. Did you see South Park? They're not putting the old episodes on there because
that's also why I'm surprised. I get it among what's called Gen Alpha now, which is my little cousins, but among older Gen Z like us, I'm surprised. And this is just kind of a little bit going into more PC-ness and culture and whatever, is I'm surprised that so many people are PC among our age, because I'm we grew up with stuff from that era, and a lot of stuff that is not PC, that stuff that was just normal.
And it's crazy because it's there must be a really weird cutoff period of time where it's things just massively shifted, and I don't really know what that cutoff event or timeline was, but this type of stuff tonight, this is my type of humor. Other people that but I can also just easily think of people who are our age or even a little bit older than us, who I can just think of would be dead set against a lot of, and I'm just you must really struggle to find fun and joy in your life if you have to just have to look at things for obviously things are going to well, I don't want to take this down a political route, but find it. I feel like people are better off trying to find the humor and the joy and the fun in things as much as possible. We're always going to be reminded about the stuff that sucks. I don't think we need to go out and look for more things that suck.
No, I think that's a great way to put it. I think for me, when I watch it, there's a couple things that I get into, but I think the biggest thing when I watch this that makes me so upset is I know people, and we all know people in our lives who are, let's put it this way, who are our age, older, whatever, but who are our age, who, if we sat them down and we watched this with them, like our age group, they would be so remarkably offended. They would literally like unfriend us. Like, it's like, no, that's not the point of this. Like, the point is to have some fun.
Also, it's a freaking movie. Like, it's not like
exactly.
It's
not that deep.
It's not like these things are actually being said or people are actually promoting this, whatever the case may be. It's literally meant to have shock value and things of that nature. Like it's that, and part of the reason that these things are turned into films and whatnot are to give sort of an outlet or like a sort of release for certain people, so that these things do stay on one side of the boundary between entertainment and reality.
Yeah, 100%. This is going to sound really facetious, but stick with me. I realized something this holiday season that was kind of festering in me for years throughout like my adult holiday life for different reasons. And this movie finally got me to admit it. I hate the holidays. I hate them. I genuinely hate it. Like, I hate it. I really do. And the reason why is twofold. One is there's way too much football. So I'm sorry. I'm just trying to watch. I'm trying to soak it up as much as I can because we do this show and this is prime time for us, right? The amount of shows, the amount of things. This is our busiest time of year. Let's just face facts. But also, like this week, guys, for like 4 days straight, I'm trying to watch football and I'm running around to this person's house, to this person's house, to this thing, to this thing. My eyes were bleeding out of my head. I can't barely even sleep. Like,
I've never heard that sentence before.
Like, it's so much. It's way too much, and it's exhausting. And as much as I love everyone that I'm around and I hang out with, it's just too much. It's too much in a short period of time. It needs to be spaced out.
A lot of people. But the thing is, what's funny is a lot of people always say that is like, the holidays is just too much overstimulation. It's too in your face.
Yeah,
it's like for me, as somebody who kind of struggles with the idea, like I don't struggle with loneliness and like depression, but for someone that struggles with the idea of being alone, I like the holidays because it's like
fine, and that's fine.
So it's like other people don't like it because they find it stressful. Listen, it's stressful, and also and we lose a lot of money because of it because we're spending so much on other people.
Capitalism.
But like, yay capitalism! But at the same time, like I love watching Christmas movies with my family. I love watching even Christmas movies by myself. I love just being around my family on Christmas. And the thing is, when you also I
enjoy it, but it's tiring. I enjoy it. I'm not saying I don't enjoy it. I'm just tired.
But I will say what makes the holidays, and this can go one of two ways, but what makes the holidays, I guess, kind of more, or you appreciate them more as you get older is when you lose people in your family that you're close to around like either around the holidays or just in general, then you miss them for the holidays. So, because it's like, hell, we see that in this movie. Like, the poor little kid, Thurman, like his mom is dead. His dad's in jail. He only has his old senile grandmother, and that's it. It's all he knows. He doesn't know anything else. But it's like, but he still finds like the whimsy and like the joy in believing in Santa, believing in Christmas, believing in just fun-filled stuff, or even the littlest things.
Even the Advent calendar, the stories of the
which is
of Christ.
Once again, this is just another good reason, another point. Another point that goes towards my point of saying how, this movie on the surface does not seem like it's very Christmas-like, but at the end it kind of is when you think about it. Yeah. So it's so.
I do like that he writes off these stories at the beginning, and at the end he realizes its significance.
Yeah.
So the biggest culprit of why I hate the holidays is for one major reason, and everybody who's experienced this, which I think a lot of people have in our age group, and kind of in every age group, because it's weirdly a rite of passage, I guess. And it sounds really weird, but it kind of is. Working in the mall at a retail store in the holidays.
Oh,
It is. It can be good or it can be atrocious. And the main reason why it's atrocious is you hear Christmas song after Christmas song after Christmas song.
I still do. As someone who
I
still
was-
works retail, I do.
I will say this: had you in the beginning said, "I am so over Christmas music," I would have been right with you.
Yeah, no, I'm over it. I'm over Christmas music. It gets old because same thing for like a month
It's the same
straight, and it
4 or
gets
5
earlier.
songs.
Well, yeah, and with different artists and things, and yeah, there's some creative ones every year, but whatever. But yeah, no, essentially, you're right. It's the same 4 or 5 songs that you hear on repeat, on repeat, on repeat in a damn mall.
I want a death metal Christmas song.
We need
Give
more
me
of
that.
You know what's
Like-
funny? You know what's funny, Brandon? It's not necessarily death metal, but it's more rock. When we're doing our winter, when we're doing our songs that because for Super Bowl we like to do are just songs. We chose winter. I picked a rock Christmas song that nobody's really heard of. So you might enjoy that.
Well, it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that because my favorite Christmas song ever is a rock song.
Please don't tell me it's Jingle Bell Rock.
No.
Good. I was gonna say. Okay, but like so it's just awful. In so many ways, and by the way, you know what also really sucks? With it, yeah. As much as I love mall Santas, the amount of times I've been blinded by this massive flash behind me of a kid with Santa Claus, like with this giant camera, it's just poof. It's just in your flipping face.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm going blind every 2 seconds.
Like school picture day. You got
Yeah.
flashbang by the camera.
Dude, do you know how many times I've been flashbanged by a mall Santa? 1,000 times. 1,000,000. It's
Easter
even worse
Bunny?
for the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, thank God you were right. Me and you were on the same wavelength there. I mean, hell.
I told my McDonald's story of wanting to punch Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
It also continued to the Easter Bunny. That Easter Bunny was freaky, bro.
Oh
Jesus.
my God.
I remember that story now.
Yeah.
I have a picture of me in a mall Spider-Man. That's
Excuse me?
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Why was there a Spider-Man at your mall?
How is there? Does he wear like a
I was-
Santa hat?
No, I
Was it
forget
because of
what
a premiere?
It might have.
Was it No Way Home Homecoming? Or
Oh my
something?
no, Rob! I was like 4.
So it's Spider-Man 2 or 3.
I believe it was Spider-Man 2, but I forget what reason he was there. My grandma was like, "Hey, you want to go see Spider-Man today?" I was like, okay, like dumbass 4-year-old me. Yeah, okay. That
has to have been Spider-Man 2 because that came out in 2004.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think it was. I look like I'm 4 there, so I believe it was around that time. Yeah.
I'm gonna say something a little raunchy, so forgive me. Brandon, you're in New Jersey, right? Was there by any chance that the Spider-Man from Times Square that's always trying to rob people and sell coke, was it that one? He just took the train over to you?
Listen, anything is possible when you live in this area of the country. When you live 7 miles from a rat infested metropolitan area
and a rat infested NFL stadium.
And mind you,
you talk about Newark. You talk 7 miles from Newark.
7 miles from Manhattan, and then if I'm going the other way, yeah, about not even 7 miles to Newark. But I'm literally right in the middle between Newark and Manhattan, and so I get to see. So it's like,
you go.
Hell, forget New York City. This could even be just some crackhead they found in Newark and said, "Hey, you want to go play Spider-Man at the mall?" Yeah, sure. You know,
That's
it's
what I'm
like
thinking.
I listen. I wouldn't put it past them. This is New Jersey. I know all the bad areas, and I know that New York City is right. I can see from my house into the Hudson River. So I know that they must have found somebody from somewhere to do this, and I don't
For
want to
like
know where.
$10 an hour.
I don't want to know. I mean, back then that was a lot of money, but uh, 21 years ago. But uh, but I think that I would not put it past the state of the mall. I wouldn't say state of New Jersey. I wouldn't put it past the mall to be like, hey, we're gonna hire so and so company, and they probably were less than reputable. Be like, hey, does this guy want to play Spider Man? Yeah, sure. Okay, send him over. I don't know where the hell he came from, nor do I care, nor will I ever find out because it was 21 years ago. But I would not be surprised if that was
Spoiler
the case.
alert, he's waiting in the call. Just kidding.
Oh
He's
my
not.
god! Yeah,
Um,
like hey, he's calling in. Oh, fantastic!
I will say that not as much our mall bunny because he's pretty funny. I think he looks like he has some fun. Our mall Santa looks dead. He looks like he doesn't want everyone who works at that booth, or not even a booth. It's this giant ass thing. It's like this
I mean,
giant ass thing,
when
and
you
they look so flipping
this
bored,
is
dude.
this is why this movie is perfect because you see this in especially the one helper that they have the teenage girl whatever it is and she couldn't be bothered to be there. It's like yes, like that is how it is. First of all, working in a mall does that to you. Second of all,
Right.
or working in retail in general does that to you. And second of all, they're on their feet for a very long time. And they
Yeah.
only so it's like imagine having to deal with so many annoying little kids and you only get a little bit of a break. They had to go right back to it, and
30
that's your
minute
whole
lunch
day.
break. And that's your
And
day,
that's
yeah.
your
Or
whole
two of them.
day. Your whole day is literally just that. Like
Yeah.
that would make me go stir crazy. I would go insane. So
Yeah.
I
So
don't
props to
fault
those
people for
people who
doing
do that. But Mall Santa, like the actual Mall Santa, at least all the ones I've seen, oh my god, they just look
well,
dead.
hey, Billy Bob Thornton's Mall Santa was very efficient. You said that to me.
Okay,
Like
that was the thing, man, that I loved about this movie. I was gonna get into something else, but I
it's a
love
very efficient Mall Santa.
if I was the person who hired and like was like if I was let's say I was the person who like owned my local mall, right? And I was like in charge of hiring the Santa, I'd be like, hey, make this as efficient as humanly possible. We have reservations, we have all these because you have to reserve and it's expensive.
Oh,
By
see,
the way,
that's not the case here. Here you
oh
don't
my
do that.
god, I forgot that. Do you know?
I never remember that being the case at our mall.
Oh, it's always been the case at our mall. I have to double check how much it costs to reserve because I think you reserve for like maybe 15 to 30 minutes, at most an hour. I think there was a time where just to reserve was like $250.
Well, but I think you have to. Well, regardless of the money, that's crazy. But I think you have to also because just there's so many people that if you didn't reserve it, the line would be out the door and around the block.
Well, yeah,
So,
and by the way, it's like right by the line would go outside because our mall where that area is, it's like it's just it would go outside and it would suck.
Yeah.
I have to search. You know what's funny? If you wanted a picture with your dog or cat at PetSmart, it's free. Like, just do that. But anyway, so no. If I was someone who didn't have to do the reserve or whatever, that's exactly what I would tell my mall Santa to do. Just grab the kid. What do you want for Christmas? He or she tells you Madden, Barbie, whatever. Take the photo.
Okay.
Get out.
Yeah.
Bye. Leave.
Bye.
Next person. Same thing. Just quick, efficient, speed. Get moving so that you can leave.
I don't care that Billy Bob Thornton is a con artist in this movie. Best mall Santa ever. In terms of doing his job, in terms of efficiency. The one thing I look for if I was somebody that was in charge of hiring, like you said, I want the efficiency. There's too many people here. Get in. It's like that slogan from Walmart. Get your shit and get out.
Oh crap! I'm about to do a Walmart thing really quick. Okay, yes, Scoop.
Well, I just want to circle back to that because that quote is from. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a comedian who uses puppets, and he has a puppet named Walter, and
Yeah.
that's exactly the line he uses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
Okay,
it's Jeff
I wanted
Dunham.
to see
I
if-
love Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham.
I love Jeff
Okay,
Dunham.
yeah, same here. I just didn't know if. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm.
know.
Okay, anyway, go on. Sorry.
Brandon, I'm sorry, Brandon, but basically you're our Walter. That's your role on this podcast.
It's fine. I'm a grumpy old man anyway.
Yeah, especially. Well, I won't get into that. We all know what I was going to say.
I know. Yeah.
with the Eagles. I'm trying to reserve just to tell you guys how expensive this is, and the website isn't working.
Bro, I can't see it. I can't see a damn thing over there, bro. I see
Exactly,
black and white lines.
Exactly, because that's all it is.
Okay.
Okay, so Walmart, really quick Walmart sidebar. Walmart has a new slogan. Do you know what it is?
I really hope it's that one.
It's not.
I wish it was.
It's a new logo because they changed the logo up slightly to make it more modern. Their slogan, their new slogan is "Who knew?" That's it.
Huh?
Who knew what?
Who knew
they could go to Walmart? They're just like.
I have to ask. How did they modernize it? Because they modernized. There's a store down in the south called Cracker Barrel that they modernized the logo for, it looks dumb as hell.
They just made it bigger and more, and the center of it is more yellow. That's it.
Wait a minute, isn't Walmart's? I'm seeing things here that say Walmart's slogan is still "Save money, live better."
Right, but search up Walmart. Who knew? Just search that up because that's in every ad. Their slogan is "Who knew?" It's so flipping annoying. What do you mean? Who knew? Who knew Walmart was cheap?
Oh, okay. Like, it says Walmart. Who knew refers to Walmart's major 2025 advertising campaign. Challenging perceptions, highlighting its evolution beyond budget groceries to an omni-channel retailer with over 500 million online items, 1 hour delivery, and enhanced Walmart Plus perks using celebrity-led ads. Walton Goggins. That sounds like some sort of Harry Potter character.
He's from the White Lotus.
He's from what?
Yeah,
I don't even know. I've heard that name, but I don't even know what that is either.
Yeah. Okay, White Lotus is an HBO show, very popular HBO.
No, yeah, I know.
That explains it. I don't have HBO. And Stephanie Beatrice to surprise consumers with its broader modern offerings and digital convenience, as detailed by the corporate news outlet and a video from the company. That just sounds like a bunch of corporate BS to tell us we're going to find reasons to charge you more eventually.
By the way, they're using the Grinch to like deliver the gifts and shit.
No, I like that. That's kind of
that, but that's not what the Grinch is supposed to be. The Grinch is a great example of capitalism. But again, who knew? Who knew that you have $100 engagement rings at your freaking store? Like
the AI. I love that the AI overview that Scoop just read. As a journalism major, this pisses me off to no end because this is a run-on sentence. Because it literally is a whole paragraph. You could break it up into 5 sentences, and it's one run-on sentence. Who the hell? Like this?
Who knew?
Oh, AI is going to take over the world. AI can't even form something that's a paragraph.
You know what's funny? Whenever I message you guys, all I do is run off sentences, and it pisses Shane off. I never use punctuation.
My god! Yeah,
I hate it in text. I hate it in text. I think it's awful.
Like when I open something from you and I see that it's like it's a scroll. I'm like, oh my god! I'm not like it's like that meme. Like I'm not reading all that. Like it's like no way. No.
And I'm not expecting you to. You know what was my favorite Walmart ad this year though? That pissed me off the most. There was this Walmart ad where this guy's wearing AirPods, like this elf. It's like a tall elf. I don't know how to explain it. And then these girls are like, "Ooh, this guy looks sexy," and he's like, "It's because," and he's like, "Oh, the AirPods," and it's like, "Who knew? What do you mean? Who knew? Who knew AirPods existed? What are you talking about? Who knew? What? Who knew that you have cheap AirPods? What? Who knew is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So like
we all go to Walmart. We know it exists. It's down the street.
So it's like, you know, and like when people buy their stuff from Walmart, like especially if it's like supposed to be like brand name stuff, and like people find out you bought from Walmart, the quote that people are gonna say is not, "Oh, who knew?" As in like, who knew Walmart had these cool things? No, it's gonna be like, who knew Walmart sells knockoff brand name stuff, because Walmart doesn't. Walmart is like the last.
It's basically Aldi beyond food.
Yeah,
essentially.
No, listen, okay, there are some things at Walmart. There are some things that Walmart's good for, but 90% of it, not so much.
I tried to find, before I got this new, which, by the way, did you guys see that PS4 is no longer going to be supported?
Good. Wow. By the way, that's good. That's good for the industry.
So I picked a good time to finally. I picked a good time to finally get the 5. But I was just asking because I don't know if I told you guys this, but when I went to look there for an upgrade console, they literally were more expensive.
Yeah, because with gaming at Walmart, they're just like, it's awful. Walmart and Target are really bad. GameStop is bad for their own reasons that we're not going to get into. But anyway, to finish off on Bad Santa, I love how every scene where he's pissed off is juxtaposed by the most annoying Christmas music on planet Earth.
Yeah,
it's so good. Ratings. Ratings for Christmas movies is really hard because obviously we can't really compare it to the rest of our slate. But just for fun, 10 being the best as possible. How do we rate this?
I think as a movie itself, well, because I give it points for being unique. So for like a movie itself, I do give it around a 7. But for a Christmas movie, I go a little higher. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Like, it's not gonna be the best Christmas movie of all time, and it's not. But is it really a really good one? Yes, it is a really good one. Like, it's worth your time to watch it. It really, especially for the holidays. But the knock on it, why I don't give it an 8 is because you can't watch it with family. You have to watch it on your own. But so it is a little bit weird, but still, it's so a 7 for just a regular movie, but I would say about a 7.5. Unless you're watching on your own, if you watch it on your own, then an 8, but 7.5 otherwise.
Scoop.
I actually was also going to give it a 7.5. Because again, like I can't in good conscience or like in good faith give this, an 8 or a 9 like some of the other amazing movies that we've watched that are more like meaningful, for lack of a better word. But obviously it's Christmas. I do appreciate the humor. I do appreciate the way that it ties in at the end, that, those types of things that we already discussed. Love seeing my guy Billy Gardell anytime. And just so all those types of things. And again, it is, like I said, it is closer to a Die Hard type of Christmas movie for me than it is to an Elf type of Christmas movie for me. So I'll keep it on the higher end there. I'll go 7.5. Definitely. It's not my first time watching it, so I would watch it again. But like, in terms of like how I've been answering at the end of each of these things, would I watch it again? This definitely I would watch again.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. This is going to be a yearly Christmas movie for me as I grow older, I think.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Because it's that good. I'm going to give it an 8 with the caveat that because it's a Christmas movie and we're obviously watching way more important movies than this, it's probably going to end up being kind of in the middle at the end of the year. Because I don't want to put it super low. Like I think it's probably,
that's pretty good for a Christmas movie. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We did The Grinch last year because it's one of Brandon's favorite movies. I hate that movie. I love it, but I also hate it.
Don't like it, but the thing is, it is a modern Christmas classic. It has become that.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I love it.
No, for sure. So yeah, I'll give it an 8 with the caveat that rating is obviously specifically for it being a Christmas movie, and it's still going to be probably mid-table by the end of it. I don't know what movie we're doing next week. I have to ask Shane probably on Wednesday when he gets back, or is like fully rested and gets back. But we're doing the movie on Sunday because our only show next week with Week 18 is on Sunday. That's it. So we'll see you guys.
He said he had an idea, right? He
Yes.
knew what we were going to do. Like,
I think he sent it to us already, but I'm going to double check with him.
I can't remember.
Yeah, just in case he changed his mind, I'll double check with him. But yeah, so we are doing the movie on Sunday because our only show for Week 18 is Sunday night. We're not recording on Saturday. We obviously don't have a Monday. Our only Mondays that are left. I'm going to double check the specific dates. The only no more Thursdays, obviously. The only Mondays that are left is the day after the Super Bowl, because I hate recording on the actual day of the Super Bowl because we're all at parties and stuff, and it's supposed to be kind of a celebration. So I like to do it the day after. So we'll be here the day after the Super Bowl. And then the other Monday nighter is Monday, January 12th. That's the last wildcard game. That's going to be for wildcard weekend. That's the only day we're recording is January 12th on the Monday. So our schedule for the next 2 weeks is Sunday and then Monday, January 12th. So, but yeah, we will see you Sunday night. Not right after Ravens Steelers ends, like 10 to 15 minutes later, because they released the wild card schedule on NBC in the post game. So about around like 8:45 Pacific time, something around there, depending on if the game goes into OT or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna wait a little bit before we start, just like we did this week for scheduling purposes. But yeah, we will see you after Ravens Steelers on Sunday night. Happy New Year, Brandon. Happy New Year, Scoop. Happy New Year to Shane as well. We'll see him back here in full on Sunday. Thank you guys for another great week of shows. Thank you for joining us. Happy New Year, everybody. And we'll see you on Sunday night after the battle for the
Enjoy
AFC
the college
North.
games.
Oh yeah, enjoy that on is it Tuesday and Wednesday? Yeah, because Tuesday and Wednesday.
New Year's Day games.
Yeah, it's,
right.
No,
but we have a college football playoff game on 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on New Year's Eve. We have one.
Hold on, real quick.
I'm checking.
We have. I think we have the Miami game on. Yeah, we have Miami versus Ohio State.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
On the 31st, and then we start with Brandon's Oregon against Texas Tech at the Orange Bowl. Scoop's Alabama against Indiana at the Rose Bowl, and then Ole Miss and Georgia. So we'll recap that too on Sunday as best as we can. As well. So yeah, we will enjoy the college games for your New Year's. Enjoy your New Year's celebration. And yeah, we will see you after the battle for the AFC North between the Steelers and the Ravens. Peace out, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
See you, everybody.
Peace. Happy New Year's.